Business continuity and disaster recovery is one of the most requested features for data sharing. Enterprise data sharing is all about making sure your data is available for your customers in any circumstance. And that is what this feature helps you to do. This helps automated failover whenever there's a service degradation in your primary region. And after you have upgraded your secondary to become your new primary, your consumers don't even realize that an outage has happened. The seamless customer experience becomes the cornerstone of enterprise-ready data sharing. Setting it up is super easy. You just need to go into your existing failover groups for your objects, add a new object type called listings. And then all the listings that are derived from those set of objects will be disaster ready. And don't even worry about finding all the dependencies for your listings, because we do a check at the time of failover group creation to make sure that all the dependencies for the listings are part of the same failover group. Next slide. This is something which is a good example of a failover event. Here, the customer has their primary setup in AWS US East with one customer. They have set up a failover group that is pointing to AWS US West as their secondary. So AWS US West has the replication for their primary data. As soon as a failover event happens, the customer here triggers a failover from US East to US West, which means that now on the right of your screen, the new primary becomes the US West. And customer 1 and customer 5 don't even realize a change has happened because they continue receiving the data from the listings that they had. Now, to demonstrate this into a live demo, I have my colleague Vishnu. Vishnu, go for it.
Hey everyone. So today we are going to do a quick demo of what failover with listings would look like. To start off this demo, I already set up a listing with a consumer. So this is the primary account or the original account where the listing was created by the provider. We have this listing called demo listing v2, and this has a title called title before failover. And now this listing has a consumer. Let's quickly go to the consumer, see that the consumer is able to access the listing. They can even query the data on the listing. So it has 5 rows right now. Now that the listing is set up, if you want to add failover capability for your listing, all you need to do is just simply add listings as an object type to a failover group, an existing failover group that you may have. But here I'm creating a new failover group. But everything else stays the same. The syntax is the same. How you select databases are all the same. So the Snowflake platform then figures out, based on the databases added, what all listings are linked with this database and automatically take care of failover for these. So let's go ahead and create the failover group here. Okay, the failover group got created. So usual flow is to set up this failover relationship. We now go to the secondary account which we want to serve as a DR secondary for this failover group. I go here and then create a replica of the failover group that we created and pointed to from the primary, and go ahead and do a refresh so that we can have all the objects created here. I think the refresh is already kicked off. So let's see if the listing got created here. Yeah, as you can see, the listing that was first created on the primary got replicated here along with the database and the shares. And as you can see, in both the places, Snowflake's replication model takes care of replicating all the metadata that is required. So this stays as pretty much as a copy of the primary. Now let's assume a failover or disaster has occurred, and let's trigger a manual failover. Yes. So now that this account has now become the primary, the consumer here should not see any difference. They're still able to access the listing with the same global name, same title, and they're able to access the data as well. But an interesting use case that you would want to do after a failover is to continue operating on your listings, continue adding new data to the listings and see that the consumer gets that. So for that, let's do two operations. One is a simple metadata operation where I'm updating the title of the listing to something called title after failover. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And I'm also going to add some new data to our table to kind of see that the consumer receives it. So as you can see, now there's more data called after with the tag called after failover. Just to pass in the demo, I'm just going to trigger the refresh on demand and see that the data gets replicated. Now that we triggered the refresh, let's go and see what the consumer sees. So let's start with, describing the listing. Let's go check the title. As you can see, the title that was updated from the new region in new DR region by the provider is instantly visible to the consumer. And let's see if the consumer is able to see the new data that was added from the DR region. Yeah, as you can see, the new data with the after failover tag has been added. Uh, and this data got refreshed or replicated from the new DR region on top of the existing data that already existed, thereby providing seamless experience for consumers that they are completely unaware of a provider failover. At the same time, providers get the benefit of reusing the same relationship, sharing relationships, and refreshing on top of existingly replicated data so that they do not incur extra replication costs. So this concludes the demo of a failover event with listings. Thank you.
Thank you.